Mike's on.
All right, now we're back as we get ready for the Reds beat the Braves against I tell you, the Reds, amazingly, have run off like 9 of 11. Harvey actually pitched a good game the other night. He pitched 6 innings against the Braves. He only gave 1 run and pitched well for 6 innings. His ERA is still 5.5, but I mean, but the Reds have won a lot of games. They won again today, 6-5, came back and beat the Braves, they've won like 9 out of 11 games or something. The Reds. They've actually played really well. If you went back the last month, I bet you the Reds have won like 20 of their last 30 games or something because they were like so far under 500. Now they're only 14, 13 under 500. They've actually played better. They really have. You know, they've really played like 9 of 11 or something. I think they beat the Braves last night. They beat them today. So they've actually played really well. They swept the Cubbies over last weekend, right? They've swept the Cubbies. So they've won like 9 out of 11. And I bet you if you went back 30 days and counted, Mons, or that might have been where they maybe had a couple of bad days. But if you go and look for the bulk, they've played a really good stretch of games, either over 30 or 35 games. They've played a really good stretch of games, the Reds, because they had about a 6 or 7 game winning streak in there at one point, and now they've won 9 out of 11. So they've trimmed it because they were really bad. Really bad. When the Mets got there, and then they beat the Mets a couple of times, they were terrible when the Mets got there. And since then, they've actually played good baseball. So if you went from when the Mets went there, I bet you their stretch is pretty good.
Well, I can tell you this. Since May 1st, they're 26 and 24.
Okay, but I bet you so that's over 500 since May. But go from when the Mets went there, and they beat the Mets a couple of games. Remember, go from when the Mets went there and count forward, and I bet you their record's even more impressive than that. Ed and Freehold, what's up, Ed?
How you doing, Mike?
What's happening?
Listen, curious to get your thoughts. If both of these scenarios played out, and I think they will, if the Yankees go out and get the best starting pitcher available at the deadline, we can fill in the blank, and the Astros go out and get the best reliever, who has the better team in your mind?
That's a good one. I'd say the Astros are a smidge better.
Okay.
But that's if that reliever's good, because their bullpen stinks.
Right.
So that's if their reliever is good. I mean, you got to get me a guy who can pitch and close a game, because their bullpen, the Yankees own their bullpen. Absolutely. He is afraid to go to his bullpen against the Yankees.
Right. So let's say it's a Britton.
And he's healthy?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I think that's okay if he's pitching well. But right now, his starting pitching's lights out. And with Morton pitching the way he is, and remember, last year he beat the Yankees with starters out of the pen. That's how he beat them. He beat them with McCullers. He beat them with Morton. That's how he beat them. They own the Astros bullpen. They beat the Astros bullpen every time they see it. So I don't like their bullpen at all. But you made a good point. Listen, their starting pitching's better than the Yankees. I think their lineup's a little more versatile than the Yankees. It gets really close. It gets really close because of Torres and Andujar doing so well.
Yeah, I think there's big power hitting teams, and I'm a big Yankee fan, but I fear that they can be pitched to better than other teams, and including the Astros. The Astros are going to get that 2-out hit in the clutch.
The Yankee. I'll tell you right now, the Yankee you don't want to face in the clutch already is Torres.
Yep,
he gets great at bats. He gets absolutely, and he doesn't do too much. He'll hit the ball in the right field. He'll hit the ball up the middle. He'll hit a 1-2 breaking ball. Right now, I already feel that I trust him right now with the game on the line more than anybody else in that lineup.
I just wish we had a couple more of those type of guys.
Because he is that kind of hitter. He does, and he's done that how many times? Here's the Yankee lineup tonight. Guardian left, Stanton in right, Hicks in center. You know the Judge is getting the day off. Didi, Torres, Andujar, Walker's at first. Higashioka's in behind the plate, and Sessa's on the mound. So Romine gets a day off to get ready for the Red Sox. Judge gets a day off. Higgy catches. You got Sessa pitching, and the Yanks will try to win this game that way. They do have a day off tomorrow. They did give the bullpen rest last night, so they can pitch guys tonight. They have an off day tomorrow. They only threw Warren and Shreve after Severino. They have a rested Penn, so they could go those guys one inning, and then they're off tomorrow, and they're in great shape for the weekend. So they could definitely go to the Penn tonight and win the game there if they have to. And they get ready as they're going to take on the Red Sox Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And I know it's Price Severino Sunday. Sale is pitching, right? Sale is pitching Friday. Who's pitching Saturday for the Red Sox? I think it's Sale, CC, Gray, I don't know, and then Price and Severino. So who is it on Saturday for the Red Sox? Then the Yankees will play Atlanta coming in on Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Mets will be down in Miami for the weekend, and then in Toronto.
Right now it says Sale and Gray. Saturday.
Sale's going Saturday. Okay, so who's going Friday?
Rodriguez.
Oh, so it's Rodriguez, Sale, and Price, and they're going Sale Saturday, and then it's going to be CC, Gray, and Severino. Okay, so they're going Sale Saturday and Price on Sunday. Okay, that's the lineup. Ed in West Williford, what's up, Ed? Yes, Ed.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's happening?
Hi. Kind of want to piggyback off what that last caller said about, the Astros potentially getting an impact reliever.
Right, which they should. They should.
Yeah, they should. I agree with what you said. If we don't get someone who bumps Tanaka back, it's not worth giving up anything for.
Well, you see, to me, that's what I'm looking for, because I think they can. Now, if they get themselves in a life and death race for the division and they think they need somebody to pitch now, well, then that's a little different situation, too. So they might wind up getting two guys then. But the question is, can they get somebody good enough to pitch in the 2 slot in the postseason?
Well, I don't think so. I really don't think so. And even, a Madison Bumgarner has to prove he's healthy.
No.
Listen, he's a legend.
He starts game 1 in the postseason. I'm sorry.
Right. But what about the Yanks using their assets to actually get Brad Hand, the lefty, out of the bullpen in San Diego? You kill 3 birds with a stone. You keep him away from Boston and Houston. You prevent against losing Robertson and Betances next year. And you could shorten your rotation, especially the back end in the playoffs, to almost 5 innings.
I understand, but you still cannot guarantee you will not blow the game up early.
Correct.
That's the one thing. When you're going to face a guy who's really good, the only way you can sell me that you're not worried about the Houston rotation is you think this Morton thing is a mirage. If you don't think this Morton thing is a mirage, and right now, if you look at the numbers, they're
his numbers are off.
Insane.
Yeah,
he's pitching like an ace, so that gives them back-to-back aces with Verlander and Morton. And then that's not even counting the fact that a guy who's been a Yankee killer for most of his career can be their third starter. So, so from that standpoint, they're loaded, but their bullpen, he's afraid to pitch his bullpen against the Yankees. That means the Yankees know that if they can wear down the normal starter. Now, the one problem the Yankees know is that they cannot wear down Verlander. You can't wear him down. He's going to pitch the 7 or 8 innings. There's nothing you can do.
He'll throw 120 pitches.
Not only that, he'll throw strike 1 anyway. He'll say, what, you're not good. You want to wait? I'll throw strike 1 every time.
Yeah.
So go ahead, start 0-1 in a hole and see how many hits you get. So that's why he'll say, he'll counter that, and there's not much you can do about it because he's gonna do what he has to do, and you can't start off in the hole against him 0-1 because if you do, you're not getting any hits. So from that standpoint, he can counter that. The key to them is, as you said, getting a reliever, but the other key is Morton for real? If Morton is who he is, if Morton is the guy who's pitching like he's pitching this year, they're going to be very tough. Because the Yankees couldn't hit the guy when they've seen him, and the guy has been scary. He really has. So if he's real, they're going to be a pain in the neck. They really are. Listen, the playoffs are going to be great in the American League. The teams are really good. Let's be honest. Don't count Cleveland out. Cleveland is going to be a tough team, and they could wind up easily repaying the Yankees, just like the Yankees paid them off last year. They could wind up repaying the Yankees this year without doing any heavy work. Rich in East Brunswick. What's up, Rich?
Thanks for taking the call, Mike.
Yep.
Mike, I'm glad you keep pointing out that Gary Sanchez happens to be one of the best catchers in baseball.
Well, he's not a great catcher, but he's the best offensive catcher by a mile in baseball.
Player. I mean, but, he's 23 years old. He's got a lot of time to still mature as a catcher. But my real question is, you kind of pointed out that you didn't feel, Clint Frazier was going to be a superstar in the league.
No.
What's your opinion? And I agree. What do you think about this Andujar? I mean, I kind of feel like, is he at his high water mark right now, or is this guy going to be?
I think he's going to be really good. No, I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's going to be really good.
Okay, good.
I think he's a really good hitter. I think he's a really confident hitter. I think he's got great hands. I think he's a better glove than I thought he was. He's actually. I like guys who get better when they get to the majors. Who guys who when they get and they look better than they did when when they came up, you thought they were okay, and then they just got better and better and better. He's one of these guys. Every time you see him, he just gets better, and I think he's going to. Now he's not Torres though. Torres is going to be a big star. Torres will rival Judge for stardom with the Yankees. That's how big I think he'll be. I think he's going to be a big star.
Now, do you think Andujar has stepped into that can't be traded position like a Torres at this point?
I would like. He's not where Torres is. They would not. They'd hang up the phone on Torres. I don't think they're hanging up the phone on Andujar. I don't think they want to trade him. You would have to flash something really big at them.
Right.
I think. Right. I think they really like him. I think he has grown on them. I don't think he was in their plans, but I think he has grown on them. And they've become a tandem. Those two. I mean, they like batting them together. That's one of the reasons why they have not put Torres on the top, is they like those two together. Because those two together put together a lot of hellish at-bats for the Yankees. They really do.
Well, they seem committed to him. I mean, they're holding this Drury back. Playing well.
Drury's not as good as this guy. Drury's a good player. He's not as good as this guy. And this guy's going to get better. Torres, though, is scary. His at-bats are in big spots are unbelievable. The ball jumps off his bat. I mean, absolutely jumps off. I cannot believe the power he has already. I did not expect this. Do you know how many home runs he's hit that have gone over 400 feet? I mean, he has hit bombs. I mean,
and like you say, he's the guy you want.
Oh, absolutely. He has the best at bat already in a big spot. Absolutely. He has plate coverage. He has discipline. He can hit the good pitch. I've seen him fight off pitches for game winners. I've seen him just flip it out in the right field. Hey, with the game on the line, all you have to do is flip it out in the right field. You don't have to hit a bullet somewhere. You don't have to pull it down the left field line. If you can flip a curveball in the right field and win the game, so be it. Flip it in the right field and win the game. The idea is to win the game. You've already seen him do that a lot. Tony in Elmwood Park. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Mike. I was thinking about the wild card stuff you were talking about, and I agree with you. I have no sympathy when you have two great teams.
If you finish second, you have no complaints. You're lucky you're alive.
Here's what I think, though, is worth considering. I think it's unfair to the number one team. You win your division, and then I guess the way it's set up, you play the wild card winner, right, in the first round. Now, this year Houston's really good, so it doesn't really come into play. But if you have two dominant teams, you would play you win your division, and then in the first round, you get the wild card winner, who might be the second best team in the league. To me, that's where it becomes unfair.
Listen, to me, in most years, it won't be an issue. In most years, it will not be an issue. There are quirky years in everything. That's the way baseball works. Sometimes you'll win a division at 509. All right, the other guy didn't win the division or didn't make the playoffs, and he played, and he didn't even get in the playoffs, and he played 570 ball. So it happens. It's just a quirky year. It happens. There'll also be the year where you didn't deserve to get the matchup you got. So be it. That's sports. Not everything can be perfectly lined up. So sometimes you just have to do with whatever happens. But to me, the major thing is that I disagree with that people say, if I win 100 games, why do I have one game decide my season? You forget one part you left out. You didn't win your division. You're lucky you're alive. You're lucky you're playing. Shut up and play your game. You win your division. You got one game. You got a complaint. You don't win your division. You got no complaints. You can send you home. In the old days, they did send you home. I mean, there were great teams behind great. There have been great teams that didn't go to the playoffs. The Mets had some terrific teams. Finished behind the Cardinals. The 1961 Detroit Tigers. How many games did the 1961 Detroit Tigers win? Think. Al Kaline, Vic Wirtz, all the great players on the 61 Tigers. Norm Cash, who hit 363.
101.
101. You know where they went? Home. Because the 61 Yankees won what? 107? 108? What they won? 108? 109? 108? I should know that. I think 108, right? 108, 109?
109.
109. Okay. So the Tigers won a 101. A great team, the Tigers. Al Kaline, Norm Cash. I mean, really tremendous players. Norm Cash hit 363 in 1961. Think about that. 363.
Colavito. 45 home runs.
Rocky Colavito, Vic Wirtz. I mean, terrific pitching. I mean, wonderful team. Tremendous team. And went home. Why? Because they finished second. Matt in Manhattan, what's up, Matt?
Hey, I think Andahar is getting slightly overrated by Yankee fans, and I think Torres is actually being slightly underrated. Torres is putting together a rookie season better than Jeter's.
I don't think Torres is underrated. I think everybody thinks he's going to be great. Everyone I talk to thinks he's going to be great. So I've never heard anybody say a negative thing about him. I don't. Well, think he's underrated.
Great isn't really great. I mean, Jeter didn't put together numbers that Torres is doing until later in his career.
I don't like to compare. I don't like to do that. I don't want to make it about Jeter because to me he's already not Jeter because he's got a lot more power than Jeter had. So right. I mean, I'm not trying to compare him to Jeter or ask him to be Jeter. I'm asking him to be himself.
No,
but the point is,
he's a 300 on base percentage. He's one of the easiest outs in the Yankee lineup.
Doesn't walk except he is a rookie who's got lightning in his bat. The guy has got 35 extra base hits already?
That's why I would trade high on him. If you can get one of those number two starters, you're saying for him, I would include him.
I think he's going to get to be better. I think he can learn plate discipline. I think he can be adjusted. A lot of young players are like that, and they learn to be much more patient and to set pitchers up later in their career. He's an inch away from being the ball jumps off his bat. He's got a really quick bat. His defense is better than we thought it was. He's a good player. He's not Torres. Listen, Torres has a chance to be a superstar. He's not Torres. I'm not trying to tell you he is. I told you this is going to be Torres and Judge's team. They are going to be the guys that vie to be the biggest stars. It's Judge's team. We all know that. This is Judge's team. Hands down. And they have big stars. Severino's on his way to being a big star. But this is Judge's team right now. Torres is going to rival that. Josh in Secaucus. What's up, Josh?
Hey, Mike. Welcome back.
Thank you. What's up?
I just want to change subject a little bit, go into the Giants, New York Giants secondary. This whole Janoris Jenkins thing, if he is involved, I mean...
Well, that's the only reason. The only reason I let you take the call because we're not talking football today. So I'm not going to go from the Yankees to the Giants secondary. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the Giants. But, you're playing it into Janoris Jenkins, which I wanted to update anyway. Mons, the update is that his brother. Give me the stuff with his brother now, who is upstate. Give me that thing I saw before. Give me that. Let me read that. Give me that whole thing. So I will update it for you now, Josh, from a standpoint of Janoris Jenkins and the investigation. I'm not going to get into the whole secondary. We'll be out at Giant Camp early. We're planning to go, and I want to go early. So we're going to go, I believe, what's that Friday in July, Mons? That's the date on that day.
The 27th.
27th. That's the day we're going to Giant Camp. We're going to Giant Camp on July 27th. So that's good. We're going. I wanted to go out early. I think the Giants are going to be a very big story. All right, from TMZ. Here we go. From TMZ, and TMZ is very good to us, and they give us a lot of good information. And I think they're good. I think I've always found their information to be very reliable. Here was their latest information they just sent us. And we have a good relationship with them, so they're very good at sending us stuff. Let me just get it for you right here. They just sent it. Here we go. Janoris' brother, William, was named a person of interest in the death. It's confusing. He is actually in jail in upstate New York. He was arrested for a parole issue 8 hours before the body was found. They're trying to figure out what that means right now. So again, Janoris' brother, William, has been named as a person of interest in the death. But here's the confusing part. He is actually in jail in upstate New York. He was arrested for a parole issue 8 hours before the body was found. Don't know what that means. He's a person of interest, but he was arrested 8 hours before they found the body. Who knows? I don't know. But that's the latest. That's just from TMZ just now. And that's hot off the presses for them. And they do a very good job with this stuff. I mean, sensational. It's amazing how good their information is. All right, we're going to look for... We asked them for an update now, see what they can give us. They're going to work on it to see what they have for us. Back after this.